What's up? What's up? What's up? Good evening. We're doing this on a late night. It's 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's Maisha Edmond, licensed cosmetologist in the state of New York. I am also the creator and founder of Trichology 911 University. Listen, y'all know this is not my look, right? But it's late, right? And I wanted to get this here out of my face and talk to you really quickly about finding your niche or your niche, if you fancy, in trichology, finding your niche in trichology. Super excited to join you tonight. So listen, if you got time, and you was winding down or whatever, you want to hear this because I think that, and I'm just having like a little conversation, I think that a lot of times we'll get into trichology and we think that it's supposed to go a certain way, and then it doesn't, right? Oh, housekeeping. I'm live on Trichology 911 on Instagram, my main page on Facebook, as well as the business behind the business of trichology and our membership group, right? Okay, so I think that we think that trichology should kind of just work. And although I know that trichology is easy, like it's literally something that I started in 2020 when I started saying trichology is easy. Like every single day, I'm booked, I'm busy, trichology is easy. Like I would always say that. But I think that when we get into something new, and this is like for a lot of people in a lot of different industries, you find something new and then you forget all about what you already knew. So if you already had a set of skills, I think the problem is that we don't we don't learn how to translate those skills into or marry them with the new thing that we have learned. So if you are a really, really good stylist, if you're a dope stylist, there is something that you can do and something that you can use and translate it into trichology. So I think there are a lot of times where you'll get into something like trichology and then you'll find yourself quitting and you'll begin to say, it's too hard. People don't want to, they don't want to participate. They're not doing the right things. They don't, they don't want healthy hair. They don't want to grow their hair. When really, I think that we become so excited about what we have learned and what we know that we don't read the room. Does that make sense? We're not reading the room. We're not looking at what people need or what they're saying that they need. So sometimes that means not dumbing down what you know, but giving it to the demographic that you're serving, giving it to them in a way that is palatable for them. Because until you find your perfect people, right, you're going to have to weed through. I remember when I first started, I want this kind of person, that kind of person. And yes, your exact who you're looking for is looking for you, right? Who you're looking for is looking for you. But the problem arises when you have not yet discovered who you were. And so when you don't discover who you are, you're gonna have to go through a couple of people and see what you like and see what you don't like. When you're a new trichologist, and this is something that I always ask any mentees, any students, like, what's your non-negotiables? What will you not treat? What's that thing that you will not like? Listen, for me, I don't want nothing pussing, bleeding, crusting. But other people are like, oh my God, I love that. I really feel like I'm doing trichology, when all this oozing and stuff is going on. That's not my thing, right? I know a person that's like, yo, I'm not going to help nobody with traction alopecia. Like, point blank in the period, they are not responsible. And so because I don't, I feel like they're not responsible, I'm not going to deal with that kind of person. So when you're finding your niche in trichology, right, you're looking at the fact that you have to come up with what you will and will not address. You have to. There's no way. If you don't know what you want, at least do you know what you do not want, right? The next thing is what I coined the law of resource, right? And I have some notes, so I'm always reading my notes, using what, and this is what I'm saying before, using what you already have to define your individual niche. What do you have, right? What are you using, right? So to break it down, one of the things you want to look at is what do you use, right? If that's tools, if that's products, is that a specific technique? Is that a certain kind of technology? What are you already using? That's going to be something that you want to bring into this law of resource. Because if you can find, and I think I said this a few days ago, if you can find what you already use and look at it another way, then you're able to create something else that you know what I'm saying, you can really branch out with what you already have. The next is what you say. So that's extracting new concepts from what you say, right? And that's also altering your declaration, which means this. So if I say such and such about hairstyling, am I able to insert trichology facts into that? How do I alter what I'm saying? How do I create new language within the language that I have in order to create this niche or niche that I'm going for? Because the truth of the matter is, when you're finished with school, when you're finished with your training, when you get out on these trichology streets, everybody sounds the same. Everybody has decided, oh, now that I've learned trichology, I'm going to teach trichology. What is it about what you're doing that's going to be different? Because if you don't understand resource, you don't understand that you don't throw away what you were previously. Like I remember when I first started trichology, and there was somebody that I was following, and they were literally like gaslighting and like trashing everybody that still did weaves. Like, you still doing weaves? But my thing is, from a business standpoint, if you make money, like you're still a stylist and you're going into trichology, if you make money doing weaves, why can't you look at and look through what you've learned, alter how you apply the weaving, or the extensions, offer more healthy application techniques, and then go from there, as opposed to like everything is a problem. Because now your clients look crazy. They feel uncomfortable. They don't want to come to you, right? Because you like, take that weave out. Don't you braid. Don't relax your hair, and don't color. So now, your client got two pieces of hair, feeling all uncomfortable, grays showing, stuff broken off, and you got them looking all holistic. And I'm saying that to be funny. There's nothing wrong with being holistic. What I'm saying is, you have to be all things to all men when it comes to trichology. And until you find out who you are, where you can say, I definitely do not offer this, you're going to have to not compromise, but you're going to have to make some decisions on how you can use who you already are, who you've already established for all these years before you decide to become a trichologist, and then say, okay, I can use this, but I won't use this. I'll take this out. I'll add this. I'll turn this on the side and do it like this. These things are very important. Also, when you look at what I created called the law of resource, you're also looking at what you do. You want to cross train. I remember when I was in the Army, I'm like, listen, I'm a 63 hotel. That's a light. I was a light wheel mechanic, tank mechanic, and I'm like, this is what I do. I'm fixing tanks. Well, of course, my sergeant coming outside saying, McCormick, you on the line today, you got to fix this 5-ton, or you got to fix this truck. You got to fix the Scouts Humvee. And I'm like, but that's not my job. My paperwork says this. And he would yell out, cross-training soldier. And I'm like, cross-training? So how did I had to end up multitasking, learning how to fix things. I was fixing generators, and I'm fixing trucks, and I'm fixing 5-ton vehicles, and then still had to be proficient in fixing tanks, right? Because I had to cross train. Taught me a valuable lesson. And that lesson is this, is that you can take something from your previous, or from, like as being a stylist, and you can literally turn it and make it valuable on the trichology side. So you want to cross train, you want to take from another part of your life and then bring it into trichology. I know so many people that are estheticians, they are nutritionists, they are nurses, and then they come over to the trichology side, and it's almost like they feel like they are not allowed to operate in those disciplines that they mastered before they got to trichology. And you can. So how do you find your niche? I created what I decided to call it the law of resource, which is using what you already have to define your niche. Take a step back and look at who you are, what you have created, what are you known for. Now, if it doesn't suit the people that you're trying to reach, then by all means, get rid of it. But I can guarantee you there's something that you're doing. There's something that you've done in the salon. There's something that you've done that you can say, you know what? I'm going to do it like this. If you are the bomb colorist, right? You mean to tell me you're going to stop coloring because you're a trichologist? You mean you're not going to find a way to still color safely? Maybe change your products and say, okay, well, I'm using vegan coloring, or I'm making up stuff. I don't know. Like I'm gonna add in certain treatments, certain scalp treatments, certain hair strengthening techniques and treatments and things like that with coloring, so that my client now gets a full experience. If you're doing cranial prosthetics, you mean to tell me that even though you have a client that does not have any hair, they are alopecia universalis, right? You mean to tell me you're not going to still treat that scalp? I have a client who has only hair like at the nape, and she gets a cranial prosthetic. But when she comes, I have treatments just for her scalp. I'm massaging that scalp. I'm making sure it's not dry. I'm making sure that she's comfortable. She's getting that relaxation. And I'm doing all those things that I need to do, on top of making sure I have a nice, clean surface to apply the cranial prosthetic and different things like that. So my thing is, you have a lot in your hands, but you're not using what I call the law of resource to get to where you need to go. And I believe that that's the problem. So we're quitting as trichologists because, we're frustrated saying they don't want this, they don't want that. No, first of all, you're not listening to the client. And then second of all, it's like you're not only not taking into consideration what they need. You're not willing to make it palatable. You should not be talking to your clients like they're me, or like they're your instructor. You need to be talking to them on a level that they understand. Like, why do you not know how to speak trichology in layman's terms? Stop talking over people's heads. It's a law of resource. You don't have to be dry. You can still be funny. You can still, like, you can do all of these things, but you have to understand resource. You have to understand repurposing tools and products, right? So if you have stuff for skincare, hello, scalp is skin. If it's not going to be harmful to the hair strand and you can safely get it on the scalp and it's for a certain thing, why are you not using it? Prime example, estheticians are doing what they call vampire facials with the micro needling, but we also can use micro needling on the scalp, right? And if that's something that's not permitted where you live, they can use a derma roller on themselves at home. You can provide the training for that specific client so that they can do what needs to be done. So make sure that you are exhausting your resource. It's the law of resource. Using what you already have to define your niche. So there is a niche for you. You don't have to be trapped in anyone's shadow. You don't have to be stuck with the idea of what everybody says trichology is. It doesn't make sense for you. You have to make it work for you. I was talking to somebody today, and the conversation was so refreshing because she was explaining how this is how the clients are in my area. These are the people that I'm coming across, and I'm like, we know that we like a good 90-day treatment plan because we like the 90 days because we get to see results and stuff like that. But if the people that you are serving don't have that kind of patience, you still treat them on the 90-day schedule or scale, but you offer it to them in 30-day bites. So if they do part 1, they could say, okay, I want to do part 2. Even though it's a 3-part, it's a 3-month thing, you still can say, all right, well, here's part 1. They take part 1. They say, you know what? I could do another one. All right, they take part 2. You know what? I could do another one. They take part 3. So boom, there you go. But when you try to make people force me, you got to do 90 days. You got to do a year. I only do 6 months. Listen, you still do the 6 months. You still do the 90 days, right? But you got to break it down where it's digestible to the person that you're serving. And I've heard people say, well, you the trichologist and you don't negotiate with terrorists and all this. Listen, it's not that serious. Give people what they can handle. You let them, and if they are not the client for you, then you don't even start out helping them. Because this was my thing, right? My thing was, I would say, oh, well, this the kind of client I want, this is what I do, and whatever like that, right? But what I had to do was say, you know what? This is how they eat this. That's like when you're looking at why nobody buying my ebooks? Why nobody buying my books? And the client that you need, the client that you need to reach, don't have time to read. Why you not making that same ebook in a video or some kind of sound bite, some kind of audio that they could download and they can listen to? But what we're doing is we're trying to force people into our idea of trichology, especially when you're new, because you don't even really know what trichology is. You're trying to figure it out. That's where I come in, right? I am the bridge between when you finish with school and you about to get your trichology practice popping, or you about to start using this trichology information. That's me. Because I'm going to tell you, like, this is how you use this. This is what you already have. Don't throw that away. Right? There's a lot of us that, you go through these programs, you spend all this money, you spend all these hours, you got all this knowledge, you got tools and products and all kind of treatments and protocols stacked up, and you're not using them. You're frustrated. You don't know where to go next. And I'm telling you, you're going to have to reevaluate, and look at the law of resource. Use what you already have. Don't throw that stuff away. You're still you. You spent so much time building who you are. And now it's time for you to merge what you've learned recently with what you've already known. And then those things that are wrong, we ease those out. So on Wednesday, I'm starting my program called Push, and that is Perform Until Success Happens. And that is a 4-week challenge, basically, for new and improving trichologists, healthy hair care stylists that want to make sure that they get their trichology practice or services on the map. They want to make sure that they're not stuck. They want to make sure that they're building the right image for trichology for them. And when I tell you it's a fast-paced, like hard-hitting challenge, it is. And it was brought to my attention by my coach that I'm not even charging enough. Right now it's $497. There's a payment plan, right? 125 down, 124 a week. It's exactly $497. After this, it's gonna be $2,000 because I'm telling you, I'm changing lives. But how could I do that? I could only do that, and I can only offer that because of the law of resource. Because I know that I'm using something that I already have. I've defined my niche, and I understand that when I came into trichology, I had to find a hole and fill it. Do you understand that I used to say, find a hole and fill it to myself every day for a year? Because when I first got out of trichology, I was so hyped and I thought that every stylist should know what a trichologist is and you should be a trichologist and why you not doing trichology and why you still doing this and why you using that. I did all of that. And then I got into this little crazy rabbit hole where I'm trying to figure out, well, what do I teach? I should teach trichology. I need to teach everybody trichology. So now there's other big trichology programs. I just got out of a program and now I'm trying to create a program. When I know for a fact when I got out of school, I quit up to 7 times. I quit trichology 7 times because even though I learned what I learned and I was good at regurgitating information, I didn't understand it on a level that would allow me to use it and make it make sense to my clients, as well as me saying it and knowing that I was okay. So I quit. You couldn't say trichology, tricycle, try again. You just don't. Because I was just like, why is this not working? And like it was just so much that you couldn't say trichology around me. Then I try to come back. When I come back, I'm giving away services. I'm giving away weaves. I'm giving away color services because I'm telling these clients, you ain't got to look like you in treatment when you when you with a trichologist. I could fix your hair loss, girl, and I could make you look good. But I was so scared to charge. I thought that, I'm already charging $1,100, not even thinking, all right, Maisha, $1,100, yes, but you also doing 16 weeks at the time. I think that worked out to be about anywhere between $47 and $56 a week to see a trichologist that has been in school for over 2 years, that has, created their own program, went to this class, went to that class, got this mentor, paid this coach, doing all of that. I did all of that, and you get it for $47 to $56 a week. And I know that some of y'all are doing this. So we undercharge. We throw away everything that we knew and that we know, and then we just standing in the middle of the floor hoping that somebody gonna come and need a trichologist. We don't know how to convey the information. We don't know what they need. So then after that, we say, you know what, I'm gonna teach other stylists trichology, but you don't have nothing to teach them because you don't have no clients, because you can't properly convey what needs to be conveyed to the client as to why they need you and how you can help them. So, that being said, I know it's late, but I did want to get on and let you know that it's easy to find your niche in trichology. You have to use what I created, the law of resource, using what you already have to define your individual niche. There's something about you. There's something unique about you that you literally need to look at again, and it is going to write out. It is going to define who you are in trichology, and that's going to be broken down into what you use, what you say, and what you do. All three of those components are going to help you to break down exactly what your niche is in trichology. And as a real life example, I've always been like an educator. I've always been this kind of person that I will look at something very complex and I will read it and say it over and over till I understand it. And then when I send it out to other people, I'll give it to other people. Oh, this is all they're saying. All you got to do is this. Well, I have that kind of gift. So then I know that that is what I do in trichology. So that's my niche. And that's why I have Trichology 911 University, because I'm basically taking all those things that people make feel like, oh, they're spooky and oh, it's, all it is. And I'm saying, okay, listen, you have to do this, this, and this. Let's look at what you have, right? Because just like hair loss is not cookie cutter, your trichology business, your practice will not be cookie cutter. You could be next door to another trichologist and not perform the same services, not offer the same stuff. So you have to look at that. So anyway, I hope you join me on Wednesday for Push, Perform Until Success Happens. I am helping trichologists dig their way, new trichologists dig their way out of being stuck, frustrated, without an image. I'm going to challenge you, but it's going to be absolutely amazing. You can sign up tonight and everything. I hope I helped you. Don't forget the law of resource. Make sure you're using what you already have to define your individual niche as it relates to trichology. And if you're not a trichologist, look at your beauty business again and see what you can use, what you can offer, how you can turn that thing on its head and be able to create who you are, who you should be, or really nurture who you should be. So that person that you saw in your head when you said, man, I want to be a trichologist, and you imagine like, all right, she gonna drive this car, because this stuff is important. She gonna drive this car, she gonna dress like this, she gonna talk like this, she gonna have this kind of clients, she's gonna charge like this. All of that comes from how you use your resource. And until you get to that point, you're not going to make it. You're going to continue to be frustrated and you're going to continue to be stuck. And then that's going to lead to you quitting. I don't want you to quit. Trichology is easy. It's amazing. And I'm excited. Oh, you're in? You're in? All right. We got Jamaica in the house. I'm so excited though. So let's get that done. Let's get that done. Join me for Push. 4 weeks. It's a boot camp, baby. I'm an Army girl. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Have a great day today. Happy hair growing.